Hello and welcome. We are glad you're able to join us today for a great webinar with the National Student Clearinghouse guests. Before we get started, I would like to briefly go over a few things, and then I will hand it over to Sean. A few things. This webinar is recorded, so the recording will be available shortly after on our ACRO website. If you would like to turn on closed captions, you may do so by going to the bottom panel of Zoom and selecting captions. If you would like to ask your panelists, Sean and Jennifer, questions, please do so by going to the Q&A button. Using the Q&A feature, you can ask questions and you can ask anonymously, and you can also ask your questions at any time. The presenters will be taking the very last part of the presentation to answer your questions. And you can also utilize the chat if you need to communicate with the hosts and the panelists. Without any further ado, I would like to hand it over to Sean. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you so much, Belma. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Rediscover Compliance Central, your resource for more accurate, timely, and trouble-free data processing. My name is Sean McTighe, and I am the Executive Director of Title IV Compliance and Data Intake Operations at the National Student Clearinghouse. I'm absolutely thrilled to be with you all here today, and I'm even happier to present with my colleague, Jennifer Hedrick-Castrovinci. Jennifer and I have been working together now for almost 14 years, and I can honestly tell you that the time goes by when you're having fun. Or better yet, you're a data geek at heart, and you get to work with data geeks who love it as much as you do. I see several folks that I've had the privilege of meeting in person at ACRO or at our Clearinghouse live events. So thank you for attending today, and thank you in advance for laughing at my terrible jokes. Jennifer, can you please advance? So when Jennifer and I originally talked about doing a webinar together in January, we were racking our brains at what made the most sense given how much has changed over the past year alone, and what we've heard and seen from folks in the registrar's office and financial aid. And let me just tell you, you guys have been through it and then some. I broke my foot about a month and a half ago when I traveled, and when I traveled to Herndon, back to the office for a work meeting, I was on crutches. And so I took the advantage of the wheelchair service going through Dulles Airport. And I don't know if any of you have all been to Dulles Airport, but when you go down to the cab service, there are these long ramps. And at the top of the ramp, I asked the lovely woman that was pushing me, did she ever accidentally let go of the wheelchair? And she smiled at me ever so sweetly, took both hands off the handles, and for about 15 minutes of panic, I was gliding down the ramp at top speed before she grabbed the handles again. And I imagine that this is how all of you must feel every time you see an electronic announcement come out from Federal Student Aid or the NSLDS with a new requirement, especially considering everything that's happening with the FAFSA. So our entire goal today with this webinar is to reiterate the various intersections where the Clearinghouse supports you, especially from an enrollment and compliance reporting standpoint. We want to make sure that when you have those moments of panic, you have somebody there that's going to catch you and catch those handles and help guide you where you need. So let's jump in. Jennifer, next slide. Thanks. So for our agenda today, we're going to go through a laundry list of the ways in which the Clearinghouse makes sure that you're successful throughout the enrollment and compliance reporting process. This starts with our commitment to you, and it's going to bookend with how we support you through the absolutely nerve-wracking audit process. And Jennifer and her team do a tremendous job doing that. So she's going to speak to that more thoroughly. All right, next slide. So our entire reason for being, the Clearinghouse was created in 1993 as a nonprofit entity by the higher education community to serve the higher education community. Say that 5 times fast. So our entire reason for being is to serve you. This means that if you aren't successful, we aren't successful. And we've designed our resources in a way that you can leverage them as little as you need to or as much as you need to. My husband and I recently adopted our son Angel this past December, and this has been amazing, exciting, and an emotional roller coaster that has been filled with all kinds of unexpected moments of surprise and awe. We started fostering him when he had just turned 8 months old. He's 2 years old now. I've only ever spoken Spanish to him, and my husband, for the most part, speaks to him in English. And if both my husband and I were sitting beside him and I pointed to a pumpkin and said, ¿Qué es esa? Which in Spanish is, what is that? He would say, calabaza. And if my husband immediately were to say, what is that? Angel would say, pumpkin. So he instinctively knows at 2 how to pivot based on who's asking the question. And that is exactly how we at the Clearinghouse want to serve you and your needs. If you need the additional support, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. And if you prefer a more hands-off approach, then we have tons of resources that are available for you at your fingertips that you can take that hands-off approach and you can walk yourselves through that process. And so over the next several slides, we're going to reintroduce you to some of those resources. I'm going to reintroduce you to our team so that you know exactly what's available and where to find it. Jennifer, next slide. Okay. So a school's entire experience with the Clearinghouse starts at implementation. You'll see one of my corny jokes on the screen. You will be assigned an implementations coordinator, and they will have a kickoff call with you to walk through the service agreement, assign your school contact, establish your transmission schedule, and work through all of that nasty paperwork. And then they are also going to make sure we're set up as your third-party servicer so that we can receive your NSLDS enrollment reporting rosters. Next slide, Jennifer. So following implementations, you're assigned a client success manager. These folks are we kind of refer to them as the Amazon Alexas or Google assistants of the Clearinghouse. They know everything, they see everything, and they should be able to provide you any answer across any service that you participate in. In addition, if you're behind in reporting, our team leverages the client success managers to shoot off a flare gun at your institution to make sure that everybody at your institution knows that there could be compliance challenges if we don't get those reports in on time. And so this is all in pursuit of keeping you and your school in compliance. These folks are designated across the US by region. And if you have questions on who your client success manager is or how to identify them, my contact information is at the end of this session, and I'm happy to identify that person for you. So your enrollment reporting analyst, every enrollment file that your school sends to us has a dedicated analyst that is assigned to that file. And their contact information is included at the top of the error resolution report on the web. And they're available by phone and email at any point in time during that file processing lifecycle. And if you can't get in touch with them, let me know because they report to me, and I will make sure that they are accessible. They can walk you through how to resolve discrepancies. They can provide training on specific errors and warnings. They can pull back or reject files on your behalf. And in many instances, if you're struggling with a high volume of errors or warnings, we can do things on our side, like bulk update, that isn't currently available on your side, that we're working to make available. But don't go one by one if there are things that you know that you would like to mass update. Please reach out to us and we can most likely assist you with that. And although we have a general department email box for questions, if your concern is related to the file that we have in process, please reach out to that analyst that's assigned to you directly, or reach out to me if you can't get in touch with them, because that's the person that's working your error report. And otherwise, that just takes you on a detour around the Clearinghouse before you actually get back to them. So again, every file gets an analyst, and we make sure that those files get top priority. So as far as onboarding new administrators, we've got some new resources that we've just established. So I personally am very much an introvert. And when I'm out and about on weekends getting groceries or going to the hardware store, my goal is to get in and out with as little interaction as possible. My son, on the other hand, is very extroverted, and he adores people. And every time we pass somebody in the shopping cart, He says, hola, and he points at his shoes and says, shoes. And then he asks the stranger if they like them. And this results in anywhere between a 5 and 10-minute dialogue between a 2-year-old and a very polite adult that is working very hard to understand what's going on. And just like Angel tries to make everyone feel welcome, we have added some new features to help anybody that is new to compliance and enrollment reporting feel welcome as well. And one of those features is this new compliance training email that gets pushed out anytime you assign somebody with the submission data or submission data alternate access at your institution. And that email is basically going to be a customized invite, inviting them to the compliance service. It's going to include all of the most important resources that somebody new to enrollment reporting needs to know up front, where to locate them, training tutorials, tips, how to sign up for our blog. It's kind of like an everything you need to know and how to get to it, so that those new folks aren't struggling to navigate through the site right out the gate. So consider these emails us asking about your shoes, asking us how you're doing, and engaging in that exciting conversation with you that you're not 100% sure you want to engage with yet. And then, on our end, we are 100% sure we want to be best friends with you. So as you start navigating those resources, if you find that you do need additional attention, we're happy to give it to you. We're happy to engage in customized training and work directly with your school on your needs. So it's all up to you. Just let us know what you need. Jennifer, thank you. So once you've been provided access, you'll navigate to what we refer to as the enrollment data reporting dashboard. And this dashboard is a one-stop shop for everything you need to know related to your institution's enrollment and compliance, including those items that need immediate attention. So we're going to flash those at you big and bold until they're addressed to ensure your institution has the transparency it needs to stay in compliance. And so on the next screen, we'll show you what that looks like. So you'll see they're big, bold, red. They have reminders that say how many days out something is outstanding. So I have a Manchester Terrier. She's my little buddy, and she follows me everywhere, and it's the sweetest thing in the whole world, unless I'm cooking and not paying attention to her. And when I turn my back on her, she barks at me until I give her attention, and it's obviously super inconvenient. So she has me trained to give her a bone to chew on every time I'm cooking, just so I don't have to listen to her barking. So consider this dashboard your puppy barking at you, and if it's red, it is not going to go away until you respond to its very demanding ask. All of these items that need immediate attention must be resolved, and what they're telling you is that your school is potentially going to be out of compliance unless they are resolved. So if you have questions on how to resolve them, again, please reach out to us, and we can walk you through how to do that. But this is all for the sake of keeping you and your institution in compliance. So I saw a question pop up. How do I get access to the NSLDS enrollment reporting dashboard? So if you're referring to the dashboard that we were just on, basically you'd have to have the submission data or submission data alternate role to access that, which means you're submitting enrollment reporting on behalf of your institution. So if you have questions about that, please send those to us. You can send them to me after this, and we can figure out how to get you access if you're reporting data on behalf of your institution. So the data reporting dashboard is also evolving constantly, and we're always looking for ways in which we can continue to add value on this landing page for you. So you'll see that we post alerts on this page if there's changes in the federal regulations that you need to be aware of, if we put in an enhancement for the file processing, if there are updates or news that we want to share with you, we'll post these out here. And we definitely encourage you to pay attention to this dashboard, especially over the next coming months. As you all know, the legislative landscape continues to evolve rapidly, and we're actively ensuring that your Clearinghouse compliance reporting service provides you the ongoing support you need to be successful. And so this dashboard will give you the reminders and give you the alerts on what's going on, and it will connect you to our Clearinghouse blog, which is our compliance blog, which will provide you more details as well. I'm going to actually transition now over to Jennifer. Jennifer is a senior specialist in our Audit Resource Center, and as I said earlier, I've been blessed to work with her for my entire tenure at the Clearinghouse. She is absolutely brilliant. She really knows her audit and compliance stuff like the back of her hand, and if any of you have worked with her in the past, you know she cares as much about each of her schools as she does her own family and friends. She is an incredible resource. I can't thank her enough for doing this webinar with me and for being on the team. And so Jennifer, take it away.
Sean, thank you. I feel the same way. And I've learned so much from you over the years, and I appreciate everything you've done, and help grow my career too, and teach me along the way. So Sean had described a lot of the human beings on our end that are a phone call or an email away, or that are on, on call waiting to hear from you about any questions you have. But there are lots of resources available on the website. So we're just going to walk through what is out there that's on demand that I could access at 3 a.m. in the morning or that you can access anytime along the way. And I wanted to provide some background about this too. So it's just like the data reporting dashboard. If you have a login to the Clearinghouse secure site to manage your school's enrollment reporting or manage NSLDS errors, maybe do more so that than the enrollment side of it. But either way, you're accessing the secure portal. There's like this data reporting dashboard that's your one-stop shop for all things of enrollment and compliance reporting that's specific to your institution. That's, you can look up individual student records that are from your account, so to speak, or from your school, that sort of thing. Make edits to individual records, update your schedule. But before you actually have a login, there's also information available on the public site. So if you were to Google search certain keywords together, Clearinghouse Compliance Central's knowledge base articles may come up in the yielding results from a search engine. And so the Compliance Central site, I believe it's been in place for almost 2 years now. But before that, there was always a Compliance Central, but we did redesign it. The redesign was really meant to be organic and thoughtful in the way that everything is laid out on the page. So it goes from you starting out new to the service, and what do I do with the enrollment file layout? What are the data elements and that sort of thing? And then it gets into how do I manage the actual enrollment reporting and any errors and warnings presented to me? And then what happens to my data after it's processed? And a lot of that data, if you've got students that are benefiting from federal aid, the data is going to go to the National Student Loan Data System out from Clearinghouse and to loan servicers, of course, as well. And then thereafter, the next part of the Compliance Central site is going to be like, well, what if I have an audit question that comes up or something? And so, each section of the knowledge base is really meant to just naturally how you would go about your day if you were working with the enrollment reporting side of things, maybe in your registrar office or financial aid office. The knowledge base is meant to kind of play out in that same exact manner. So there's some newer resources that are featured on the Compliance Central site, and we definitely didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk about those. One as simple as a glossary. We didn't have one out there, and it was a much needed thing. I think it was highly anticipated that someone would actually just make like a dictionary of what are all these different acronyms and words. I remember back when I was trying to get a handle of what is my job and can I do my job, a big part of my problem was not knowing what all these terms were. I remember asking my boss what SSCR was a lot, and I thought that she thought I might not get it. But it's that's just one of the terms. So many acronyms, and just the nomenclature, the jargon, the in the biz or in the field terminology. So we do have, it's one link, it's a glossary, it's an additional resources section on the knowledge base. And it's just like kind of other more modern sites that you may see out there. This follows in that same spirit, in that if you click on like the letter F, it's going to drop you down to like, the words that the definitions for F, so it's really easy to use and quick and friendly, which is nice. So there's the glossary, and that's newer. And then, short of having an AI or an actual human sitting with maybe a new person new to managing your institution's enrollment reporting, getting them acclimated and up to speed on how to get the error resolution report completed, turned around swiftly, and not taking up a big portion of your day, there is this new error resolution report guide available. It is a hefty guide, so print it if you'd like, but it is available. It is a printer friendly version too, if you're someone like me that does like to kind of hold on to something sometimes and doesn't always want the book to be a Kindle. And that guide actually has illustrations that are not made up. It's going to look exactly like if you're the person that is working the error resolution on the web. It's got screenshots that look just like what you're trying to do. And I think the most important thing, and I hope this resonates with you, is that the guide actually goes as far as to give you an explanation why you're getting the error code. I think sometimes it's like, okay, well, yeah, let's figure out this error to get it corrected and be done with it. But then on the next file, the idea is you don't want to see that same error for that same record and have to deal with it again and again and again. It kind of becomes this vicious cycle. So this guide was really created with the intention to give the reasoning behind the error. And, maybe that would send you down a path to consult the job that you run to pull the extract to send the file. Or maybe it's something that has to do with data entry when you're entering the student's information into the system. I mean, it could be so many things where it leads you, but the idea of this guide is to help you need the guide less and less, to just reduce the errors and warnings over and over if you do experience one in particular, or two in particular, or a volume in particular, and trying to get away from that habit when you're submitting your files and being presented with the error resolution report on the web. And then last but not least, just more resources. And I think I kind of just exhausted this earlier, apologies, but just to give you the idea of, when you're landing on this page, we don't want it to be kind of like that you have to have worked with the service for 5 years to know how to use this knowledge base. It's more so like, okay, I'm new to this process. In the top left, it's going to have all the new overview stuff. And then it gets more drilled down. It's like, okay, I've sent them the data. This is how you manage the errors, and so on and so on. So it really is meant to just tell the story of how it would really go if you were to send a file, have it processed, have the data be available for loan servicing purposes, and even things outside of compliance reporting, like enrollment verifications, and so on, or student tracker, I guess. But also, that data, a lot of that data is going to be part of the student loan servicing part for national student loan data, etc. And so, that kind of just brings it down to, what about during the times when either you're going through your annual audit, maybe you have an internal full-time staff member that has more of a compliance driven role. Maybe you have a lot of internal audits, maybe you do that on a regular basis. Maybe you've been through a program review, or maybe there's a program review that you know is going to be upcoming if you were alerted to that. The program reviews have become more common in the last several years. Whether your school seems to be doing everything great or not, that's a little bit more common, which is just basically like an in-depth audit from the department. But when it comes to things outside of the money management side of the audit and other related testing that auditors do, the part that has to do with enrollment reporting data points and what the auditor requests of you to review for screenshots within the NSLDS system. If they have questions or raise concerns or just don't understand something about the data points that they see, or about whether or not they assessed that it was timely or not, was the data there on time? Everything has an expiration date with the whole process, so timeliness of it really does make a difference. So any of those types of questions, we have a dedicated, it's a small group or a small team, but a dedicated folks that are here to support with those types of questions along the way. And I will say one thing that I think makes us the most successful when we get the opportunity to work with a school is if we have a live example. I will say that's the most common thing that I ask for, and I would have to ask my colleague, but I think that might be the most thing he asks for as well. We work much better with live examples than we do with hypotheticals. But that said, yeah, there is a free year-round help with audit questions, even if it's just framing a response or identifying the issue. Is it, is there opportunity for a clearinghouse to enhance something to avoid that audit issue? Is it some sort of just data entry issue? Is it a larger, unfortunate systemic issue and related to the whole data set? I mean, it could be so many things, little or small, or little or big. But yeah, and it's just really an email away. I would say email's the best bet, and then likely that results in scheduling a good time for, but calling works. And I'll mute myself, and I'm gonna turn it back over to Sean.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I was trying to power through answering as many of your questions as possible. As Jennifer was providing her piece of the presentation. So this wraps up our presentation for you all. You'll see on the screen that we're going to be leaving you some additional contact information here shortly, including my personal email address. If you ever feel like you aren't getting what you need, or if you have ideas for additional resources that we haven't covered today, that can make your job easier, your team's job easier, other schools' jobs easier, please reach out to me directly. We see our resources as constantly evolving. As school needs change, as technology changes, we want to make sure that we're meeting you where you're at. As I said in one of the chats, I'm also going to be at ACRO. So for any of you that are going to be at the conference in person, I would love to meet with you, hang out with you, catch up. I'm also going to be doing a session, a live session on gainful employment on April 8th, and then on short-term Pell, also on April 8th. They're actually back to back. So I will leave you all with one final story, and then I'm going to kick it over to this video that we've created. This video is also for folks that are new to our enrollment compliance reporting service, and it basically compacts everything that Jennifer and I covered into a 4-minute video. So please take a look at it. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback on that. There's going to be a survey that Rita is going to post while the video is playing. So here we go. My father, he's a very, very stubborn man. And true to his nature, he is not one to ask for directions. So back in the 80s, we lived in northern Florida for a short period of time. And this was obviously before cell phones, GPS were around. My grandfather was visiting from South America, and he needed a ride to the airport, and this was about 50 minutes from where we lived. About an hour and a half later, they had not arrived at the airport, and it was clear they weren't going in the right direction. 3 hours later and 2 states later, my father called my mom from a payphone in Mississippi, letting her know my grandfather would be extending his stay because he had missed his flight. So the moral of the story is, please don't be like my father. We have a variety of resources and mechanisms to get you the help that you need when you need it. If you don't have what you need today, just send me an email, and we can provide your institution with customized training to keep you in compliance and keep your enrollment reporting going smoothly. Like I said, that is our #1 priority. Your success is what matters most to us. So thank you so much for spending the afternoon with us. Following the video, like I said, there'll be that brief survey, and we'd love to hear what you thought of this presentation and the video. And I will look forward to seeing you all, hopefully all of you, at ACRO, and have an amazing rest of your afternoon.
The National Student Clearinghouse serves as your school's partner, navigating the ever-evolving complexities of the enrollment reporting and federal compliance landscape. We focus on streamlining the data reporting process, managing the data flow to National Student Loan Data System, or NSLDS, and the loan servicing community. We ensure critical enrollment reporting data is available for other clearinghouse services, like verification services, MyHub, and Student Tracker, all while reducing the administrative burden that these reporting obligations place on our participating institutions. This video will showcase the Clearinghouse's commitment to supporting you through every stage of the compliance reporting process, ensuring you have the resources and tools you need for success. From the moment your school submits your enrollment or degree submission to the Clearinghouse, a dedicated analyst is assigned to your school. Your analyst will provide you with the guidance and support you need to successfully process your transmission into the Clearinghouse database. Your analyst's contact information is located on your error resolution on the web transmission report. With a click of an email or a direct phone call, your analyst is ready and able to walk you through error and warning flags with respect to your specific student information system, school processes, and policies. And we have an experienced compliance and data operations team in place to guide your school through each step of the enrollment reporting process, from reviewing data file formatting and accuracy to sending data to the NSLDS and loan servicers, as well as providing best practice guidance to help you meet federal compliance requirements. During the enrollment reporting process, a series of data validations are completed to increase data reporting accuracy and decrease inconsistent and incomplete reporting. At the Clearinghouse, our mission is to help ensure your school's data is accurate, but also in compliance with the ever-evolving compliance regulations, and ensure each step in the process is completed in a timely manner. If you prefer guided self-help resources, the Compliance and Data Operations team has curated comprehensive enrollment and compliance-related content in the form of recorded webinars and tutorials to address data discrepancies, understand why errors and warnings continue to appear, and learn how to break the cycle so you don't continue to submit the same errors repeatedly. These are available on demand on our newly relaunched Compliance Central site. The site is equipped with a searchable database of comprehensive resources, including file layouts, training materials, data dictionaries, an error and warning manual, help guides, and enrollment compliance articles, all designed with the end user, that's you, in mind. If you are interested in staying current on what's happening in compliance and enrollment reporting, we have multiple ways for you to stay connected. Compliance Central Updates offers posts detailing the latest news and updates on enrollment and compliance reporting enhancements, changes to federal regulations and their impact on our school clients, and important best practice reminders from managing enrollment data reporting to maintaining compliance. In addition to our updates posts, we offer 4 to 6 live webinars each month on topics ranging from how to resolve the newest error or warning pain points to open forum topics like how to successfully report graduated enrollment statuses and reporting considerations for non-required academic terms. You can meet our experts and get answers to your questions during these sessions. If you have experienced an audit at your institution, you know how much stress and pressure those inquiries can generate. Fortunately, our Audit Resource Center can support you as you prepare for your audit, during the audit review, and while addressing any findings. Our team continues to have an outstanding track record in helping our participating schools reduce and eliminate audit findings. And we offer free services, such as internal audit support, to help your school validate that your processes will satisfy your next state or federal compliance audit. The Clearinghouse continually looks for ways to ensure that you and your team are successful in reporting your enrollment data, no matter how new or seasoned in these processes you are. This includes working with our advisory groups of schools, like our Future Data Reporting Group and the Clearinghouse Advisory Council, to ensure that the enhancements, resources, and communications we deliver meet your needs. Implementing dashboards and reports that give you more access and transparency into the data that you send to us. And ensuring that your school's schedule and reminders remain up to date and evergreen, so you stay on track in meeting your compliance reporting obligations. We are excited to continue to partner with you on new ways to support your evolving needs, and look forward to working with you directly as you leverage all the many resources we offer. Connect with us and stay up to date. Visit compliancecentral.org and sign up to receive Compliance Central updates on critical enrollment reporting enhancements and the latest federal guidance. The National Student Clearinghouse.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.